Welcome to Trulywicked Crafts Flosstube. I am Ava, known as Trulywicked Crafts on Etsy, Tumblr, Instagram. I have a Trulywicked Crafts Facebook page. I'm known as Trulywicked of Y on Twitter, and just Trulywicked over on Ravelry if you ever want to see, the occasional crocheting and rare knitting that I do. So, welcome back. It's been about almost a month since I recorded, but you're seeing this little over a week, I think, since I last uploaded. So you're not a big gap again for y'all. Quick thing. For anyone who is just finding me and just watching me, fair warning, I don't apologize for squat on this channel. Unless I inadvertently or unknowingly use a slur or term that is genuinely offensive to an ethnic group, minority, culture, or socioeconomic status or sexuality. Okay, if I ever say anything genuinely hurtful, which curse words do not count. Other than that, if I ever say anything that is genuinely hurtful, please do tell me and I will apologize for that. Otherwise, I don't apologize. I don't apologize for crinkling. I don't apologize for drinking, possibly eating. I haven't done it yet on this channel, I don't think. I haven't done it yet on this channel, but it could happen. You never know. I don't apologize for showing crafts that are not stitching or stitching related. I don't apologize for going off on a tangent, which happens a lot. I don't apologize for it. Because you can always exit out of the video and click the back button if you just don't like my style. Saying something genuinely offensive is different from having a style. So, fair warning. And with that, shall we get into things? Quick overview of what's in this. I do not have a floss tube. I do not have any new floss tubes that I've watched this week. I'm catching up on one of my favorites, who is Christine of Stitch All the Things. I have not watched any new floss tubes. I don't have my YouTube recommendation this time. It's mostly just stitching. And a little bit of poetry. Stitching, stuff I've made, and a couple of shop brownies, and a little bit of poetry. So, what have I made since the last time I recorded? Well, first, I made this. If y'all hear that, that is my neighbor. He gets home around this time and he sits in his truck with his bass blaring. And it's not the actual volume of his music is not loud. The actual volume, I can't hear the music. All I hear is the bass from his subwoofer. So if y'all hear that, that's what that is. Why he does it, I don't know. And I don't like it. Because I can actually hear it and it literally gives me headaches. I don't know why. I wish it didn't. Otherwise it wouldn't bother me, but whatever. Back to the crafting. See? Tangent. So, I made this. What is this? This is a highlighter roll. I made this for highlighters I made. No, I didn't make the highlighters, but I bought some highlighters, and I knew I was going to need something so that I didn't lose them. Thus, the highlighter roll was born. It's decorative elastic from Joann's. The fabrics I got from Walmart. The big button I got from Walmart. Fuzz. And just roll it on up. Hook that on over. And I have my highlighters all there and ready and prepared to mark my working copies. And occasionally even the actual pattern. Ugh. If I intend to keep the pattern for the rest of my life, I do not mark. I mark the pattern itself. I'm naughty that way. Next, I made this. Originally, this was going to be a gift for somebody. Originally. But, as you can see, it has bias binding. And bias binding is my nemesis. The front looks nice. The front looks all nice and pretty and just fine. But the back has areas like this right here where it didn't catch the binding right. I can't get that right. No matter what I do with my binding, I can't manage to get that part right. It drives me bananas. But so I'm keeping this one. I made a different bag for the recipient. So Ariel. I'm a mermaid. I'm a mermaid freak. And, you know, got these nice, this really pretty, these fabrics all came from Joann's, but this right here, this really, really pretty, like watery blue. Oh, I wish I could have found a bolt because it's really pretty. And on the inside, where the vinyl is, you have this. It's a batik. So I made that. This little shelf is very handy. Then this is the second bag I made out of that material. And it's lined with some, just a solid aqua color. Side handle. This is the kind of project bag that I've been making for ever. Not forever, but for a couple of years now. Can make it in all sizes. But, you know, started out as knitting project bags. But, you know, they'll hold stitching too, as my chestnut fibers bag proves. And I made this. This one is for me. The second Ariel bag is for an exchange partner, but this one, this is mine. All mine. It's partially Christine's fault, by the way. Because I saw her, I believe the fabric's called Los Elegantes, and I said, oh, what is that fabric? I must have it. On one of her floss tubes ages and ages and ages ago. Quit catching my bunnies. What I wanted most to find was like spiderweb fabric for the accent, but I couldn't find spiderweb. Black background with silver or white lines anywhere. So I found this sort of cool looking print, which is the same thing that the highlighter roll is made out of, at Walmart. and this is definitely going to blow out. I don't know what it is about red, but it's a red batik. I do not know what it is about that really bright crimson red that blows out the camera. Must have a very, very bright value. And then this one isn't so much at Christine's fault. This is pretty much going to be the Christine episode, I guess. But this isn't so much Christine's fault as it is very, very, very much made possible because of Christine. I made myself this bag. I showed you the fabric a few episodes ago that Christine graciously gifted me, the mermaid fabric. And then I went searching for other fabrics to use to create the bag. Now you see the outside fabric is shiny, and you will note iron mark down there. That's because of the shiny, and I forgot to put my parchment paper between my iron and the shiny. It was a little oopsie. We have D-ring tabs because this will absolutely have a strap that will go with it eventually. I just have to find copper colored swivel hooks that have like an inch slippy-do thingy. Because I have the copper colored side buckles, and the hooks have, maybe it's also a D-ring. I don't know what the little hole at the end of the hook is called, but that's the front. So the iron was an oopsie, and another oopsie is that I wound up sewing in the zippers in opposite directions, which does not bother me. I actually kind of like it, but you know. And that part of the inside of the front is a green muslin that I got from 123 Stitch. And then, I think I showed it on my last Shop Brownie haul. And then I'm actually going to pull this out because this is glorious. This is the Timeless Ocean batik that I'm using for the lining in the second pocket. It has two pockets. It has the front, it has a big inner. And words cannot express just how gorgeous this fabric is. Let's just tuck it back on in there. And there's the back. Let's zoom in. I don't know if you can tell, but there is some light quilting there. I stitched around the mermaids. I like it. This bag makes me so happy. I had a couple of, shall we say, crafting incidents where my rotary cutter caught me a couple times. Not bad. Not like Jeweled Antler. Oh my god. Oh. I think it was Jeweled Antler on her Instagram that showed that off. Ow. So not bad like that. Just a couple quick little, wasn't quite paying attention, and they just sort of hit the inside of my arm and drew blood. But that bag makes me so super excited and happy and crazy. So those are finished objects that are sort of stitching related. I have not done any more work on my diamond painting because I haven't, my wrist hasn't twinged. My wrists haven't twinged any recently. And that's what the diamond painting is there for, to work on something when my wrists start bugging me. But I did work on some other things. Now, I fully intend to restitch the Legendary Creatures alphabet, but I will be changing several letters. First two letters I'm going to change are the A and the F. And so I stitched little cute little mock-ups of the redesigns for those. First is an angel. And that is based off of the Valkyrie pattern by, I'm going to use her Instagram name, Shepherd Rhiannon. I don't feel right using her Facebook name, even though she's in the Clouds Factory Funky Stitches group, just because I don't know if she'd be cool with it. And then I stitched a fairy with a few other little fairy buddies for F. And that is based on the Y for Yumbo pattern that is actually in the I just sort of flipped it around, and we have a little dancing fairy with a dress, long flowy dress and wings. Came out very nicely. So those are the first two letters I've come up with. And if you are part of the Stitchers Coven Facebook group, you know I have been designing gnome patterns. Why? Number 1, Amy loves gnomes. Number 2, I love gnomes. Number 3, Christine loves gnomes. We love gnomes. So I was like, okay, I gotta make some gnome patterns. And I did. I have not yet stitched the first gnome pattern. It's not the first one I designed, but it is the first gnome pattern that I published in the files section of the group. I haven't stitched that as a model yet because I have other stitching that I need to really concentrate on. And that I want to concentrate on. But I did stitch the second one that I will be releasing in a couple days. Eastern Gnome Hollow. Let's see. Okay. Now, this is Frida. She is the main gnome in this design. And the lovely gnome cuddled in next to her is her wife, Charlize. We have a little Easter fowl. It may be a chickie, it may be a ducky. It depends entirely on what Easter fowl you prefer. Frida is holding a golden egg. Charlize is petting a cute little lamb. You got some butterflies. In the actual pattern, the blue butterfly is not backstitched. He's only backstitched on this because the blue butterfly and the fabric are very similar in person. And we have Bob the cat. My sister gave me the name for the cat. We have Bob the cat playing with a little bunny. We have an Easter egg and Easter lilies and viney flowers going up the Gnome Hollow sign. So, Easter in Gnome Hollow. I'm really enjoying making these, designing these. So I finished that stitch. Made me very happy. It was finished before March. I intend to FFO it as a flat fold, but Walmart does not have, what does Vonna call it? Backing board. Walmart does not have backing board, and I have not been to Joann's for a while. So, that's it for finished objects. I do have an FFO, finally, and the F and the first F stands for both fully finished and finally finished. It's actually a pillow slip cover. And I do kind of need to do some adjusting in some spots. But I made a pillow. The overwhelming suggestion was to make a pillow because, well, you can read that. This pattern isn't available anywhere. It's a pattern I just came up with out of a Gamer Cat comic. It's not available. The pattern's not available anywhere because because Gamer Cat is the intellectual property of, you know, a webcomic. Average Joe. He's not part of a big company like, say, Ariel or whatever. So I am not going to, you know, infringe on his intellectual property by offering it up to everybody. So that's the FFO I have. On to whips, shall we? Yes, on to whips. I got some more done on Midnight Brew. That's about half of the first page. That is about half of the first page. It is off the Q-Snap because, well, for two reasons. I wanted to put something else in the Q-Snap, and I'm a little burnt out on this now. It's not so much all the black stitching. I reached the point of meh. But the fabric is, the fabric is 30 count Jackson Fabric Arts in turquoise. It is a hemp fabric, 100% organic hemp in a linen weave. So it's woven like linen. And it's pretty. I love me the blues. I like color. Next up, the Stitcher's Coven is running from April to June 1st. It is running the I Drink of My Sisters Sal. And that Sal is anything that has a lady in it. Because sisters. So, I decided, until she's done, I'm going to be working on Minerva for the Sisters Sal. Hashtag Sisters TSC. So I'm going to be working on Minerva until that is done. And there's only a couple spots that the light's catching it, but up here, and like the tree and the owl are going to be, are going to be just regular DMC 310, but everything on the witch, all the black on the witch's dress, and her hair, all of the witch's dress, DMC at 12. Oh yeah, she's gonna sparkle. She's gonna sparkle. The fabric is a 16 count Aida, Charles Craft Aida, that I dyed myself. And it was a cap full of Rit turquoise with like maybe 1/8 or maybe even just 1/16 of a cap full of aqua Rit. Added in, put it in a crock pot full of water, dumped the fabric in, and there you go. You have that lovely blood color. Dried blood. I like it. I like it a lot. That needle minder, but you can't read what's on it. Even I can't really read what's on it, and I can see it in person. But it's from Retromantic Fripperies, and it says, "By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes." And that's from a Dress It Up bead pack that I slapped magnets on and made a needle minder out of. So, happy days! I'm really loving working on Minerva. And I may rename her. She may be renamed Christine. Because I'm working on her while catching up with Christine. I don't know why, but every time I look at the picture of Minerva, and just the way she's up there looking up at the owl and the sass kind of reminds me of Christine. And she's going to be all in blues. And Christine likes her blues. So I may rename her my Christine project. Works for me. Next up, another Stitcher's Coven. The Stitcher's Coven runs my life. And I'm happy with that. So, in the Stitcher's Coven, there is... you can't sign up for it anymore, although you can sign up to be a witch hitter in case anything falls through. But in the Stitcher's Coven, there was a sign up for a Halloween gift, Halloween smalls exchange. Everybody's stitching a small, fully finishing it, and they're going to be sending it. Everybody's has until now, from now until October 1st to stitch and FFO a small. I could have chosen something from the numerous just cross-stitch magazines we have here. I did not. I got a chart. So this is not only a whip, but it's kind of it is also sort of shop brownies. I got Away We Ride, or not Away We. I wish I had Away We Ride. I got Midnight Ride by Blackbird Designs, and I'm stitching that because a small is the design. When finished, when all stitched up, will measure no more than 5 inches by 5 inches. Now this calls for, where is it? Supplies. Yeah, this calls for 30 count Prim Green by R&R. Am I stitching this on Prim Green by R&R? Mm-mm. Not stitching it on 30 count, not stitching it on 28, not stitching it on 32 or 36. I'm stitching this on 40 count. I'm stitching it on 40 count Tycho? I think it's pronounced Tycho. If I picture this plus 1/1. because I really like working with one thread over one thread on high count fabrics. Why? I do not know. But this is like literally 2 nights of stitching work on this. And I really like the color of the fabric. I may have to get myself some more of this. But yeah, just a little bitty thing. I'm really enjoying working on this. I'm really going to enjoy sending it off to its new home too. So the fabric, the pattern, and of course, you get the fabric and you get the pattern, you have to get the flosses. So you have Gentle Art Simply Shaker sampler threads in Onyx, which is the hat and the scarf and the letters and the broom. And you have Gentle Art Fragrant Cloves, also Simply Shaker. And this is also Simply Shaker. This will be the Raven itself, Garden Gate. It's kind of a brownie toned black. So that's it for my whips. That is it for my whips. Next, we have shop brownies. There are shop brownies. From Needle Case Goodies. Because I saw it and I was like, ooh, that might actually be good to do my next Legendary Creatures Alphabet on. We have one of their new colors, and it's called Memory. It is 36 count linen. And it's this really pretty mauvey, sort of purpley type color. And I am running low on my light interfacing. It's fusible mid-weight, but I picked up a prepackaged roll of that because there was no bolt of it at Walmart anymore. They'd probably just run out. While I was at Walmart, I also picked up some charms. That will be zipper pulls for my mermaid bags. And my mother is the one who enabled me on this one. I was just looking at the beads, you know, marking down prices for like next time when I want to fully make the zipper pulls. I got the charms because for some reason Walmart just cannot hold charms for the life of them. But my mom saw these beads and I went, ooh. So went ahead and got them. Now, if they'll cooperate in their orientation, they're skull beads. One of them is going to become the zipper pull for my Las Elegantes bag. And the others, I have no idea. I don't know. I may make another zipper pull, send it to my sister because I made her a bag. But I don't know. So, I think that's about it for stitching. That's it for shop brownies. As I said before, I have not watched any Flosstube except Christine of Stitch All the Things. And keeping up with all my other favorites. Leslie Hurley of Fat Cat Flossing. Michelle Bendy. Poor Michelle. I know she says she's moved on, but I do know that had to have been a moment. I know it had to have been a oh holy crap moment. Jessie Marie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff. Priscilla and Chelsea of The Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. Do I write these names down? No, I don't. I watch them as they pop up in my feed. Stitcherista. Just, I'm caught up on all of that. So, all of them. I'm caught up on all of them. So, currently I'm catching up on all of Christine's. And then I fully intend to watch Stitchy Witch 42? Audrey. I have to find out what it is about the tissues. It's driving me crazy. So, that's all with YouTube. So, let's move on to our poetry reading, shall we? And I know that I'm caught up with her, and I know that Bendy Stitchy is also reading these. And I can't remember if she read this one or not, but I'm going to read it because it really made me go. Pet loss. Hold on to your shorts. The color's 318. This is the color of my good cat Gus, who died last fall, aged 19 and a half. Gus was a swell companion, an easygoing fellow, nothing like our stressed-out buddy Peter, who died 10 years ago. I would be stitching, and Peter, a black tabby, would be sitting on the table looking out the window, completely absorbed in his task, completely innocent, completely dear, and the next thing I knew I was fighting for my thread. The sniper had gotten it. He'd shot me down. I was on my way out. Rather, Peter's birds were this mighty hunter over the years, capturing the thread equivalent of goldfinch, bluebird, scarlet tanager, rare green quetzal, a triumphant rainbow of wet prey hanging off the jaguar's fearsome jaws, and a wild light in his topaz eyes, as Peter sought to devour the helpless creatures that I rescued from his maw, strand by sopping strand, lest the tenacious little devil choke to death. Not Gus. Gus was too mellow for such fuss. He never bit my thread, and he rarely tried to chase it, and he never chewed on canvases. He lay in his shoebox on the sofa and scrunched his eyes at me while I was stitching in my easy chair. Then he went to sleep. When it was time for me to move to the sofa to watch a movie on the VCR, Gus woke up and invited me to scratch his belly. Then he went back to sleep while I got busy getting entertained. And when I punched the pause to make some popcorn, Gus also paused to have some crunchies. And following that snack and some water, he hopped back in his shoebox and went to sleep. While I experienced the denouement and made my judgments and maybe called a friend to share my insights and my acumen. Not Gus. Gus was just happy being here. He took it as it came, the sunlight from the east, the sunlight from the south, the sunlight from the west. That was fine for him. So were the chairs, and the sofas, and the tables, and the terrace. Oh boy, that hot brick terrace in the summer sun, that was good for a good long nap. And then Gus would be calling at the door, and I would let him in, and he would go to sleep in a cool place for a while. Then it would be time to eat. Gus died in his shoebox on the sofa on a Monday afternoon, following a stroke on Saturday. And I have to say this, that dear cat looked like he had gone to sleep. Yes, Gus had found his nirvana at last. A soft-spoken tabby, medium gray, with turquoise eyes and an orange nose and a white chin and a creamy belly washed with a suggestion of pink. That was Gus. Good colors. Good sleeper. Good pal. As I miss my cat so very much, that really hit me. So, of course, I had to read it to all of you. So, that's from The Very Stuff by Stephen Peele. Poems on color, thread, and the habits of women. So, that is all for this time. Thank you all for joining me on this not too terribly long episode. I hope life treats you kind. Take care, y'all. Bye.